This is just a quick video in response to a comment we got in regards to the Harbor Freight Workbench, specifically in relation to how do you pull the drawers out. That was something that I didn't really cover in any detail. For the most part, if you've ever opened these drawers, most of these drawer rails all work about the same, but for someone who has never actually worked with them, it's kind of something that you may not know about. So we want to put together a quick shot just showing you exactly how you remove the drawer rails on these Harbor Freight benches. Caveat, this is our model. This one was purchased close to two and a half years ago now. I assume that it is probably the same rails that they've always had. They probably have not changed those, so most likely it does still look this way. So without further ado, here we go. Now, one thing that I mentioned in a comment was if the levers are not depressed, you'll get a thunk. So if you're trying to pull your drawer out, it will go so far and then make a thunk and just a solid stop. And it's kind of covering up all the junk, but basically once it comes so far, it hits and it's not coming out because it's hitting. So that's one way you know that your levers are not quite depressed. Now it's possible they're not really depressed, they're just having a bad day, just not feeling themselves.
That's not funny. Okay.
But I think actually with close-up stuff, this actually will work better. You still recording?
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of fitting considering that this workbench was originally filmed on this phone, so.
It kind of is.
So it's kind of fitting that I'm using this. Okay, as you can see on this side over here, there's a little black lever, and you're going to have one of these on each side. You'll notice that it's kind of not dead centered. It's kind of sitting down more in one direction. And basically what you're going to have to do is press it opposite of that direction. And we'll show that here in a second. Now these drawer rails are kind of mirror image. They basically take the same rail and use it on both sides, so it just flips over on the other one. So the other side is actually reversed. So one you'll push up and one you'll have to push down. So
here, let me grab the light.
So basically this right here just kind of pushes up like that. And once you push that up, and you'll have to hold it up while you're pulling the drawer out, and the one on the other side you'll have to push down while you're pulling it out. As before, we were mentioning when you pull it, it kind of thunks. But once you grab the little lever, push the one up and the other one down, and do the same thing, it won't catch. This time, it will. Now there's force. So where the amount of force it takes to open it, you're going to hit more force. So it still kind of stops right here. But I can actually pull against the resistance and just keep sliding it out. And now that it's out, you can get a better look at what this looks like. So this is kind of what the rail looks like on the factory model here. And when you're done, you want to make sure it's at this far point, pulled all the way out up against that black piece right there. What's going to happen when we put it back in, you notice there's kind of a little bit of a track on the top and bottom of that black plastic piece. And the rail is going to slide into there and inside that ball bearing assembly. The metal piece of, just a piece of metal with ball bearings in it is all it is. So basically, that is what is going to happen. Now you do not have to do any kind of pushing of the levers on the drawer when you put it back in. So it's just lining it up into that black plastic tray. And just gently pushing it forward. Now these factory rails suck. There's a whole reason I made another video about how to replace them. And once they're in, you kind of gently go dead center, make sure it's not too far up or down, just kind of dead center. Just slowly push. And you may have heard that click just then. That's when those two levers clicked in. So now if I pull back, now it's caught again. And near the end there was some resistance. That's kind of everything sliding in and seating. And now we are back to where we were. So Long story short, each side, opposite directions, push the black levers up, pull the drawer out forcefully but gently. You don't want to just like, ah! But there is going to be some resistance, and you just have to kind of pull back and slide those out. And that is basically how you remove the factory drawers from the Harbor Freight Workbench. And now, to give it a Doug score. Oh, sorry, wrong video. Out there somewhere, a car person is laughing at that hysterically. Unless you cut it out, because you're like, I don't know what that means. We will see all that. If any other questions pop up, or if that needs further and more in-depth explanation, let me know. But that is basically the process. The ones that I replace it with are similar. They're all metal, but there's still basically a tab or a lever you depress to then slide it out. So they almost all drawer rails work about that same way.
Would you like to mention anything about how the Harbor Freight workbenches, there's different models?
I've learned this from husband school. What you're saying is you want me to mention that. So this is our model. We will try to put the model that we have here in the notes. From what I have seen, the drawers across all three models appear to be fairly much the same. I don't think there's a big difference. There are some differences in the three models of work, and I think actually we discovered there's maybe 4 or 5 different models in this workbench now. So there's a lot of different models. They're all built slightly different, but from what I can tell, the drawer rails appear to be the same across the entire lineup. But always know that anything we do here is specific to our model. Will probably apply to yours, but may not. Like the standard, just insert standard disclaimer here that everything has nowadays. So, you'll squeeze this down to about 30-second long video?
Nope.
Minute and a half?
5. Alright.
Alright, thanks everybody. And as always, any questions, let me know. More than happy to try to answer anything that comes up. Whether you like it or not.
I see what you did there.
You see what I did there?
Uh-huh.
Hello everyone, and welcome to the very messy dungeon. We're here just to give a quick, and by my definition of quick and the wife's definition of quick, we're a little different. She's probably thinking 30 seconds to a minute, and I'm thinking 5 to 10. So, you know how we are. The cable just fell off the wall. Anybody else want to make noise? This is just a quick video in response. Are you done?
I don't know if I'm going to be able to get a good shot here because all this stuff.
It's like, well, I haven't been down here doing anything, so I haven't had to clean up lately.
Because I know me, I'm going to injure myself.
Oh, yeah. I probably should have just done this myself. I really need to get back down here and continue this project.
I mean, the last time I came down here, I did injure myself.
Well, it ain't my fault you tripped over the cable. It's like, really? I'm thinking we'll just go with this drawer.